Clap. Action.
Okay, go for it, bro. Call it.
Where's the revenue report?
Silence on set.
Guys, feel clear, everybody.
Silence, guys.
This time, I almost thought that we'll not be able to do a test shoot.
But now there was no option. So that meant we had about a week to cast everyone.
I'm looking at him, then looking at the actors. I don't know what to say.
Because I've worked with him before and I was not sure if he'll pull this off.
I was also like, shit, will this happen? Will this come through?
I know what to do, but I don't know what to do.
It's very horrific happened. Action.
So, as it usually happens, Zuora just drops into our inbox and they're like, we need some videos for a campaign that we're planning.
So this is, I think, the 8th film that we're making for Zuora. A couple of internal videos, some animated films, and the songs of film. It was a lot of fun.
What is life with and without Zuora, and how they wanted to highlight it to the other people of the organization that the finance department has to deal with, who don't understand what these finance department people even do.
Because if a person on the finance team talks to you and says, hey, the profit and loss ratio in the balance sheet is not matching as per our standard requirement of the standard deviation, or whatever the fuck, I just pulled up a bunch of words to say that, you would be like, what the fuck are you saying? Basically, you're making fun of that.
So I was able to see that, okay, what if Stone Age was visualized and there are people chiseling away, and that is what is taking time because that's the manual work that they're having to or expected to do on a daily basis. So I was just throwing ideas at Tejus constantly and making sure that yes, this is the perfect one that we want to execute.
Sanjana would come up with all the ideas. I would act like, interesting. Then I would write down and send it to the client, and they thought I was the genius. All the ideas were based on this concept of a translator who listens to someone from the finance team and then translates it to them, hey, what he means is, but in an exaggerated way so that we can make the other person visualize what it is and be like, oh, haha, that's good enough. Like, we just wanted them to look at it and be like, that's it.
Then we shortlisted 4 ideas. One was Stone Age, the other was the pet tiger, the CFO does it all, and sales in purgatory.
So now once we locked the 4 ideas, we're like, yeah, let's good to go. Like the script is going to flow out. But we had 2 problems. We literally have 30 seconds to say the story. So the longer we take for the translator to translate the jargons, the less time we'll have for the visual payoff. And that is the place which needs the most amount of time. And the person who's saying the jargon should say it in the correct context so that it makes sense in the real world that he would say something like that. So once everything was locked, our original plan was to shoot it before 2025 ends. We had to have a diverse group of cast, and that meant we need to have people from all over the world. But unfortunately, since it was around Christmas time, a lot of them had gone back home for Christmas. I mean, it's the holidays. Okay, so we decided to shoot on the second week of Jan, because again, the problem still persisted because a lot of people who went for holidays were not back yet. But now there was no option. Luckily from our office itself, we had a few people who turned up. While taking a shower, I remembered a friend of mine. Then she's like, hey, my boyfriend also has an accent. I'm like, hey, bring him in also. And luckily they both were more competent at acting than models. The legend, my friend Steven Chung, is actually a 2nd generation Chinese Bobby who's grew up in Bangalore. So he actually can speak Kannada. The lightmen on set were losing their shit when they spoke to him in English and he replied in Kannada. They were like, sir.
Last time it was like, oh, I did my debut ad film and all, and now it's like, yeah bro, do the storyboard and fuck off.
How are you feeling, Pranav?
Doing this for the first time.
So during pre-production, we hired Pranav to be the DOP because Roger Deakins' dates were not available. He was actually like my 10th or 11th option. The other people did not want to come. For some reason, they were all busy.
My biggest worry was whether the director will fuck up or not. Because I've worked with him before and I was not sure if he'll pull this off.
But like, I think it was a good thing because eventually we had a good communication shorthand.
I mean, the script was good, but there's always a problem with the director trying to communicate with me. So he starts talking about the scene and then jumps to something very random. Like, what we're going to have for lunch. And then he cuts back to like the 3rd scene. He skips the 2nd scene altogether,
Mustafa! Oh, sorry, I got distracted.
For pre-production, I made sure all the cast and costume breakdown things required for the art directions were ready, and also worked with Noella, who was the stylist, to get correct costumes ready based on the theme. So we created all these decks before the shoot, and it felt like I was doing something in school or college where I was picking out outfits for all these characters. It was fun. I was like, oh wow, I get to choose the t-shirt color and then the watch they're wearing. And I got zoned out into, oh, that watch looks so good.
When you're storyboarding for a campaign, it can't look like this is a different film and that is a different film. Something about the framing, the elements that you use has to be from the same family.
But this time, I almost thought that we'll not be able to do a test shoot. But luckily, the day before, on a Sunday, how long? Till like 9 p.m., we were just shooting and making sure we've thought of everything.
And the other benefit is that once you have done that, everyone can be on the same page. Okay, this is where it's going to go. This is what it's going to look like.
That really helped me understand the whole vision and how you are looking at it as a director.
And then there was the shoot, which was a very confusing day for me because I felt like there was so much happening.
It had such a huge scope that we needed a proper AD to run the set. So Darshan came in and he was just kicking ass. All I had to do was show up and not fuck up.
Which actually took off a lot of the stress from me. I was going to time the actors as they said their dialogues. We were going to look at the detailing, if everything is sorted, but with respect to that frame, which made it a lot more easier for me to keep my mind on track.
Thanks to Darshan, I didn't have to worry about running the set, and because of which I was given this small kingdom with just makeup, costume, and the actors, and I managed to run the shit out of it.
Day one of the shoot was actually pretty great. Until after lunch, we had to take the cafeteria sequence, which went on for close to 1.5 hours. The actors were not getting the exact timing correct, and since there was no cut in the shot in that sequence where they were speaking, we had to make sure the dialogues, which was a little tricky to say, the reactions and the timing was on point, and people were like getting fried, like what is going on?
We did 20 takes and I heard the director say, okay, on the talk pad. I thought we're wrapping that shot. And I was literally running towards the camera to move to the next setup.
And I saw him like jump so high. Because of that, I thought the scene was over, finally. But
what I saw was the dumb director directing the actors again for the same scene.
I saw Pranav coming down also.
Now I get why the actors were not able to perform. It's the director's problem.
The same takes again went for like another half an hour after that.
Luckily, amongst all the disasters that Yugan pulled off, the one good thing was she decided, hey, why don't we split the screen and retime the performance? Came out pretty well.
Then the second day, I kind of understood how things work and got a little more idea of how things can be done.
So on the second shoot day was actually a little bit more technically challenging, where we had one character who had to play 2 roles on the same shot, and we have to rack focus to match the movement.
And we spent a lot of time moving nothing on set. And I was so pissed off that it took the shot off from the film.
Unfortunately, sometimes you have to kill your darlings. The performance of the actor in the foreground when he pops up, his energy didn't sound as high as the person who was anxious right before.
Where's the revenue report? Still copying data from the CRM. I need those numbers now.
And because of that, it was actually causing a dip in the energy of the edit. I think it worked better without it.
I felt really bad for one reason. When we called back out, I was like, okay, we've just missed one shot which we could pull off somehow in post. And then I'm stepping out and I'm seeing all the people there with full makeup waiting for that shot.
And I see Darshan coming and saying, we are dropping the scene because there's no time. I'm looking at him, then looking at the actors. I don't know what to say.
I really felt bad for not getting that shot for that one reason.
So like that 2 people just dressed up as vampires for no reason.
But I also know that on set, this is of all the heartbreaks that you can potentially have and of all the bad feelings that you can have, this is still relatively chill.
I think we were able to stick to the schedule. This is a serious question, right? Okay.
Like most of the crew are telling, yo, this is one of the most chill shoots I've been on. And I'm like, wait, am I supposed to harass them a little bit more? Like what's...
Normally for every client projects, Tejus is the one who edits. But this time he was like, you know what? I'm going to sit and chill. And he just called us the chillers.
My laziness was kicking in, and Yugan had slowly become competent enough that she could take care of the edit without me losing too much of my hair. I mean, what was left anyway.
So that's how I ended up doing the edits for all the films.
But I think it was a good learning experience for both of us because I learned what it is to be patient so that I don't scream at someone, and she also learned how to handle being screamed at.
Editing and the sound design went well, but the dubbing.
Okay, we had to do a lot of ADR, or as the plebs call it, dubbing for the shoot because all the characters were supposed to be American, but our actors, a lot of them were expats in India. I mean, they all knew how to speak English, but they had an accent, right? So first we decided Fiverr. Didn't work out because I think it's a lot more trickier. You have to be in that moment. You know, even the posture of the actor has to be correct. And there's a lot of things that make it sound natural as is. And in that desperate moment where suddenly it hit me, hey, all I need is one person who can speak in the correct accent, make them say all the dialogues, and then use 11 labs to change their voice to the voice of the person we need. I deliver the dialogues matching the timings and use the voice changer.
We can't go on like this. The finance team is under significant pressure to deliver real-time insights, but our legacy systems are holding us back.
Turns out I have a hectic Indian accent. I call Niketan. He was one of the cavemen from the Stone Age films, and I made him sit for about 6 to 8 hours. Even though he had no experience, he came in, sat with us, made sure it was on point.
I'm like, shit, I also wanted to be part of this. Why did I have like client projects at that time, other client projects at that time? Like, shit, it's okay. It was still good to see because you all were struggling like hell with the voiceover. I don't know what all was happening, dubbing, this, that. Yugan is crying in one corner. Tejus is getting mad what is happening. Full chaos.
Dubbing was such a torture that I started therapy.
Clearly, when I look at her before and after the project, she is looking more like me with more wrinkles, and even her hairline has receded, I think, a little bit.
This Stone Age is my favorite of all the ideas or the films that we finally did. But it was the small details that we put in, right? Like a sundial clock in the background that you see. But also the actor is wearing a sundial watch, which defeats the purpose. And he's saying that you'll have the files by winter solstice.
Working on it, Fred. You'll have it by the winter solstice.
I was happy with what we pulled off in the end. Like with the edit, with the shoot, with the planning, the ideation, everything. And that is the most gratifying part of the whole project.
Like beyond just the work itself, how we problem solved and grew with it. I think that is always the goal of creative endeavors. I think we did a good job. Fuck it, dude. Just cut it. Put someone else in the end.
Anything else you want to add?
I'm good.
Okay, cut. Okay, guys, it's a wrap. Thank you so much, everybody. Tell the poor people the vampire outfit.